I am not happy. In fact, I'm ruddy miserable. I watched England play football against Andorra. Andorra, we beat them 4-0 last time. Relatively conservative Gareth Southgate system. And we beat them 1-0 with a Harry Kane goal. And I put this entirely down to Thomas Tuchel. We got 2 games. One's a friendly, and this is a qualifier for the World Cup that we had to win. We did win, but I don't understand this obsession with Jordan Henderson, with Dan Burn, bringing in Ivan Toney, I'm not interested in at all, and how he set up this team. Genuinely, Okay, let's try and be methodical about this. I love Thomas Tuchel. I'm a Chelsea fan. He won my team the Champions League. I was and remain just about excited that he's England manager because he's an amazing tournament coach. He's a great charismatic guy. I love listening to him talk. He's very intelligent. He's very personable. But what is he doing, mate? I mean, football fans do a lot of revisionism, right? They just do. And they think of the good times once things have passed. And I do that with Tuchel. Now, we had some dreary times playing under Thomas Tuchel, but Chelsea fans have removed that. They think of the Champions League, right, and reaching loads of finals. Should have won a couple more at least, but whatever. He's solidified his legacy as Chelsea fans, and the way he, was a spokesperson for the club in turbulent times. Now, there are all kinds of rumours, which I'm not going to talk about here live on my YouTube channel, about his dismissal and that he had to go. But that's by the by. Regardless, I'm speaking as an England fan who's very pleased, or slightly less pleased, but has generally been very pleased he was appointed England manager. Now, this Henderson thing is a massive red flag for me. The fact that he's still calling up Jordan Henderson. And I know you could say you want leadership and he's here for a good time, not a long time. So, maybe he was at Wembley watching the Adam Morton performance. And he's still, and I get it. It's a nice story, Dan Burn. He's playing well for Newcastle. He scored in the final and he wins headers. But he's not a creative outlet as a centre-back. And to reference my Chelsea fan perspective, Noni Madueke was man of the match, okay? So this is kind of against my point, and he's playing out of position. But he played all 3 Chelsea players out of position. He played Reece James as a left-back, left centre-back. Reece James is great. He can play as a right centre-back, a right-back, a right wing-back, a CDM. And if you're in a pinch, you play him as a left-back. But he wasn't playing as a left-back. He was playing as a left-back that essentially tucked into left centre-back to see Curtis Jones progress up or invert into midfield. So he's literally playing him in his worst, position. Maybe the only way you can make it worse is a left centre back in a 2 rather than a 3. So you don't give him any width at all. Look, he knows Reece James better than anyone, of course. But my word, the way Reece James can affect a game positively, we saw on the Conference League final, and to just blunt him entirely as this sort of force for good in your team, to what? Keep out Andorra. 4th division La Liga players, literally, in the 4th division of La Liga. And the 4th division of La Liga is not as strong as the 4th division as, English football, League 2. This is what England's roster was up against. You need to get the best out of Reece James. You need to not have Henderson play Declan Rice in the competitive game. And so he's playing all 3. So he's playing Reece James on the left. He's playing Noni Madueke on the left. Now, a little bit of a red herring here because he's played a little bit on the left for Chelsea. And he got, I don't know what happened on the broadcast. I'm looking at Sofa scores I'm talking to. He's got the highest rating player of the match. Of course, getting the assist. Always an outlet for England. He did play very well. But he looked like he fancied it. I fancy him to have played really well on the right. Yeah? And then Cole Palmer, who is being presented to me on this page as a number 10, but he wasn't. Jude Bellingham was the number 10. He played in the pocket. I'm looking at his heat map now. And Cole Palmer played as another left winger. And ostensibly a right-sided player. He played as a right wing under Pochettino. He plays as a right pocket, number 10, inside forward for Maresca. And he's been literally, if you look at Palmer's heat map, the majority of his touches are on the left touchline. So you're completely, in theory, before Madueke's performance, completely blunting these three excellent Chelsea players. And granted, Madueke played well, but Madueke is not as good as a footballer as Cole Palmer and Reece James, Chelsea's maybe best two players. There's, or the most talented attacker and captain, and you're blunting both of them. I've no idea why he did it. Like, what are you doing? And it's embarrassing. This win is an embarrassing result for England. It really is. It really is. I don't care how many shots you got, and their keeper made some saves. Alvarez in goal. But the fact remains, guys, that they didn't just stink it up, Andorra, in terms of... They had no possession in the end, but they pressed high. Without the ball, they did press high, and there was a high line at times. England should have battered them. They should have battered them. And it should have been, it should have been Declan Rice playing, Reece James at right back, Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back. Do you know what I mean? Cole Palmer or Morgan Rogers playing in their appropriate pockets. Kane plays more thrust from the midfield, because Henderson, I thought, was dismal. He's got 7.2 on SofaScore. I don't know how. He attempted one cross and missed it. He attempted 3 long balls. He connected with 1. Do you know what I mean? Like, he lost possession 6 times. How do you lose possession 6 times against Andorra as an individual? Cole Palmer lost it ball a lot, actually. Let me just acknowledge that. But Palmer was frustrated and, out of position. Genuinely, I'm really frustrated, and I must say, you could be like, it's the end of a long season, yada, yada, yada. I don't care, bro. That was a peculiar setup, yeah? That was a peculiar setup. I don't know why he did it. I don't know why he's got obsessions with Henderson, Dan Burn. And look, I've got nothing against Dan Burn. I think it's a nice story. But he's literally picking him because he's big. He's talked about it. We've got so many good centre backs. Long term, you want Gurhey and John Stones in there, but Levi Cole's been amazing for Chelsea in the run-in. Do you know what I mean? There's loads and loads of options, And Trevoh Chalobah, he's called him up because he's played really, really well. I don't know, man. Miserable, dismal, very, very disappointed with the approach from Thomas Tuchel. I'm not saying Thomas Tuchel out, but what are you trying? For such an experienced coach, you want to get your team firing. You don't want to do silly buggers at this time, especially because he said it himself. He's got like an 18-month contract or something. Tuchel, he's not here to... I get it. He's not here to nurture Wharton, and he might turn to seniority like Burn and Henderson. But you're turning to not bad players, because that would be disingenuous, but players that aren't going to be this real thrusting tool against Andorra, where you should be taking them apart, getting goals and building confidence, not just scraping a win with a Harry Kane goal. The only person, and Kane missed some chances as well. That was a good finish, but I expect him to get on other chances in this game. The only person that walks away from this game with credit for me is Noni Madueke. Maybe Bellingham in terms of how he operated. And the rest of them, a lot of them, it's not their fault. I'd argue, the way we're operating, the other attackers, Palmer and Rogers, I think they weren't, set up for success. I think Reece James, who can really influence the game as well, was not set up for success. Ebeeze comes on. He moves Noni over. He's a player that should play on the left side. Honestly, I think it's miserable. And I'm fuming. What do you think? Comment down below. I'm not saying Tuchel out. I'm just very frustrated with him. I hope he sorts it out. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you for joining me here. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel, Football Yannick, where, of course, there is daily uploads, and you don't want to miss it. And we are on road to 20,000 subs, so I'm very, very thankful for that. Do come and hang out with me. Peace.